So a lot of people are asking me about the trade war, the tariffs. Are we going to become part of America? I'm not going to lie. Everything about this situation is very sad. Trudeau has successfully crushed the spirit and identity of Canada during his time in office, and we're now facing the consequences of that. Thank you. If Trump and America truly intends to annex us, we are not in a good negotiating position from both a personnel standpoint and just in terms of leverage for getting a good deal. We're helpless to the situation for various reasons, but primarily our lack of cohesion, our lack of a united front to be seen as at least intimidating or making any sense to our negotiating opposition, America. The left is obviously a joke for standing up for Team Canada when it's done nothing but dishonor and dilute the character of Canada over the past 9 years, along with sabotaging our economy and natural resource industry. But a lot of people on the right are proving to be equally as pathetic and defeated in terms of absolutely refusing to advocate for any sense of national pride and not seeing any value whatsoever on keeping our independence as a sovereign nation. And I get it, things are awful. Pretty well every institution has failed us. There's traitors in the parliament buildings, but some of these attitudes from right-wingers are downright traitorous themselves. Short-sighted, short-term minded, and quite frankly, selfish. Many baby boomers, right-wingers, are just looking at this opportunity for lower taxes and a First Amendment, Second Amendment, and sheepishly jumping at this opportunity because it makes more sense than anything they've seen over the past 9 years. And first of all, let's just say this phenomena is a testimony to how much of a failure that the Conservative Party of Canada has been as well for the past decade. They are not countering the dilution and destruction of Canadian culture and identity. If the Conservative Party under Poilievre was more exciting, more nationalistic, more brave and visionary, this appetite to join the States among the right wing would not be so strong. We would want our own strong man in charge. And it's now obvious to everyone that we intuitively know Poilievre is not that. So this appetite of giving up on our sovereignty and succumbing to American imperialism is understandable. We're in a bad spot. There's no strong man that's there to take the reins. We just want the pain to stop. So we see the shiny grab bag of short-term benefits, and that's it. We're off to the races. And although it's understandable, it is so terrifyingly short-term minded and impulsive, I would even call it childish. Almost like a kid about to be lured into a pedophile van with candy, except it's Trump in DC waving the Constitution. You know you want it, kid. Ultimately, the whole situation proves how successfully demoralized Canada has become and how defeated the so-called right-wing resistance of nationalists have become when so many Canadian flag-waving patriots have literally picked up an American one at the drop of a hat. It speaks to how few solutions people see on the horizon and how pitiful the vision is for the future of Canada and how weak our sense of Canadian identity and sovereignty is. I mean, are there any Canadian institutions to be proud of right now? We clearly feel on a deep level that the Canadian government and our institutions do not serve the people. It's so bad that we want to throw our institutions in the trash and start from scratch. But I am hoping this will be the absolute low point for Canadian identity in the 21st century, perhaps in all of our history. And this moment, hopefully, will help plant and water the seeds of a true nationalist uprising in the country. The Canadians who came before us conquered the wilderness, built a society despite the distance and the differences, and toiled for generations to create and uphold a beautiful free country called the Dominion of Canada. When's the last time you saw someone on TV talk about Canadian pride that wasn't hockey or maple syrup or some diversity, inclusion, Trudeau version bullshit of nationalism? It was actually Don Cherry standing up for Canadian veterans right before he got fired, if you're curious what the answer was. But that's the whole problem. We've completely lost track of who we are and what we're about. And we need to change that. And we need to call out the institutions who will punish and persecute us for simply trying to champion who we truly are and what we truly are about. There's certainly a vacuum of leadership across the political landscape in Canada when it comes to leadership. It's the vacuum of leadership. And I don't think most Canadians really feel anything strong in their hearts about any of these empty suits in Canada. So where do we start? Aside from learning more about our own history and championing it and starting to truly interrogate and answer the question of what a Canadian is and who the Canadian people are and what we're about, aside from all that, we need to reject political correctness. We need to demand accountability in Ottawa and from our corrupt institutions that are rife with foreign interference. And if Canadians want to live in a better country, then Canadians need to demand higher standards for themselves. Starts with you. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.